Hey there YouTubers and subscribers, RosesRed17 here, and in this video I would like to do a review for Hiromashi's new manga series, Eden Zero. This manga series is a new start for Mashima because for years he's been drawing Fairy Tail, a series that's been going on for over 10 years until the show finally ended, until its sequel, The 100-Year Quest. In all honesty, I enjoyed the sequel more than the original, since the ending of the original felt rushed to me and given us a big cliffhanger. Hiromashi decided to give the most famous show a sequel. I do plan on doing a review for the 100-Year Quest in a separate video during another time, but for this video we are going to talk about Eden Zero. And instead of doing a review for each chapter, I decided to review this manga by volume. I was thinking about reviewing video by arc story, but then I realized that doing it by volume seemed more practical to me, so I went with that. So for this first review, I'm going to start with volume 1, of course, which is chapters 1 to 4. And also, if you're wondering how do I know how many chapters are in each volume, well, if you click on the link down below, there is a list and I'm just going to go with that list. It's a very reliable website when it comes to manga series, better than Wikipedia. Honestly, I don't trust that source. But enough about that, let's get started with volume 1, chapter 1, Into the Sky Where Cherry Blossom Flutters. Also beware of spoilers if you've not read the manga yet, I suggest you check it out. It starts out with a beautiful and colorful panel of a young boy named Shiki with his grandfather and his robot buddy Michael. Shiki's grandfather, this creepy and yet cool robot here, is known as the Demon King. He talks to his grandson about friendship and that they should be cherished. The next character we are introduced is Rebecca, who's honestly my second favorite character in the series. And I will say right here and now, Shiki is my #1 favorite. Rebecca and her little pal Happy travel planet to planet to get viewers for their channel, as they are known as beekeepers. It is pretty much the same as a YouTuber. The robots living on the planet greeted Rebecca as they haven't had a guest in over a century, and as Rebecca and Happy browse around the woods, they run into Shiki, the only human living among the robots and needs a decent haircut. What I love about Shiki is his let's be friends personality. I just think it's adorable. But of course, Rebecca doesn't want to be friends with the creeper as she just sucker punched him in the face. I honestly don't blame her. I would have done the same thing if some random guy that I just met would touch, stare, and grope me. I would be pissed off too. But I do understand Shiki's state of mind. He has never seen another human being before, much less a girl, so he was just simply curious. Later on, Shiki explains to Rebecca that every robot is his friend, which is both charming and creepy. Shiki is also the repairman that's been fixing the damaged machines, but then discovered later that the robots have been fixing themselves and then kidnapped Rebecca and Happy, as their goal was to steal her ship and leave the island as they ended up betraying Shiki. But this boy did not want to fight his friends until he saw Rebecca's tears, and right there and then he decided to fight back. I will say, Shiki's powers is interesting, as he has the power known as Ether Gear and control the gravity that he inherited from his grandfather. He can float, move sideways, attach to walls and ceilings. I think it's really cool. I love how Hiromashi changed things around with this series. I mean, the environment is in space. How awesome is that? Rebecca grabbed Shiki and dragged him into her ship and take him off into the Sakura cosmos. And in the end, it was discovered that the robots were waiting 100 years for a human to come along and take Shiki off the planet Granbell and travel the cosmos because the robots were running out of power, therefore dying. It was all part of his grandfather's plan. Now to the next chapter, we get another colorful panel of a golden dragon flying through space, and then we get to see a giant space wolf and suggest about, well, somebody's future. Will he become the hero of legends or bring destruction as the Demon King? I think it was obvious who she was talking about. The next page, there is the beautiful full scale of the woman, and we all know she's going to be important to the series. After that, we get Rebecca and Happy showing Shiki her beekeeper channel, and then the three travel to the Blue Garden, the planet of adventurers. But once they get there, Happy gets kidnapped and Shiki and Rebecca have to go save him. There's a little bit of backstory of Happy and Rebecca, which I thought was heartwarming to me. But then a tragedy happened in the past and somebody is dead. And you are not gonna believe what's gonna happen next. It so happens that Happy's not a cat but a pair of space guns. And then the next few panels shows why Rebecca is one of my favorite characters. She went from the damsel in distress who asked Shiki to be her bodyguard into a badass, psychotic, crazy chick and started shooting up all her foes. And I like how Shiki was wondering if she needed a bodyguard. But other than that, I have noticed some Easter eggs from Hiromashi's previous work. There are some familiar faces from FT, and at the end of the chapter chapter, we get another introduction to Elsie Crimson. Moving on to the third chapter, Shiki and Rebecca enter the guild known as Shooting Starlight to become adventurers. And once again, you will notice some Easter eggs and some other character introductions, like Clarice, the guild's rep, and Labilia, the bitchy brat who treats others that are beneath her like garbage and enjoys bullying Rebecca because she does not have much subscribers as her. But thanks to Shiki for putting her in her place, and the expression on Labilia's face is just ecstatic, as she wants Shiki on her channel to get more viewers. Speaking of Shiki, what stood out to me about this chapter is that he's seeing a hologram of the giant space woman and he somehow recognizes her. Rebecca tells him that she is called Mother, but Shiki did say that he thinks he met Mother before, but of course nobody believes him. And you think Shiki will start a fight with these guys, but what happened next made me laugh. Honestly, I love Shiki's let us be friends attitude, but I will admit that later on in the series, it started to get annoying. Well, at least in some cases that made me laugh, and others that just annoyed me. But back to the chapter. In the next panel, we have Rebecca and Shiki are in a restaurant served by thousands of Plues who are mistaken for dogs. I have no idea what Plue is, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure that out. But it's still a nice Easter egg. There are a few in this chapter, and of course everybody's favorite FT shipping right in the corner over there. I see what you did there, Mashima. That was a good one. But back to Rebecca and Shiki talking about the guild and becoming adventurers. But you need a license to travel the galaxy, and Shiki comes up with the idea of finding Mother for Rebecca's channel so she can get more viewers. Oh, Shiki is such a good friend. Don't you agree? And Rebecca agrees with that happy and exciting expression. But they realize that they need a bigger ship to travel outside the Sakura cosmos. So they travel to Norma to contact a professor that Rebecca knows and ask for a bigger ship. So there you have it. The goal of their journey is to travel outside the Sakura cosmos in search for Mother. But then in the last chapter of Volume 1 leaves a shocking cliffhanger. They arrived at Norma where the old man named Professor Waze lives, but the professor is nowhere to be found, but instead they are discovered by a younger man who calls himself Waze. But that isn't the shocking cliffhanger that surprised me. It was this. Apparently there was a 20,000-year-old time skip where I guess people find dead bodies and they find a necklace B-cube that says Eden 0. Now I know what happens next and I will explain it in the next video when the volume comes out. But for now, I will end this video the same way Hiramashima ended it, with the to be continued text. So what can I say about Eden 0? Well, I say that the story is pretty basic, but I think the characters are interesting. What I love about the story is the atmosphere. It felt like Hiramashima's got with the time, as his previous work was placed on prehistoric eras or the 20th century eras. But here, Hiro went for a more futuristic era, a time where people travel through space and discover new planets. I really like this new step for the creator, even though the story plot is basic as they travel to find a being called Mother, and along the way they meet new people and gain allies. Eden 0 seemed fresh and new to me as I grew up with Fairy Tail and still love the show to death. But I will continue reading Eden 0 even through the arcs that I don't like, but I still want to follow up with the story. Thank you so much for watching this review, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I will see you all in the next video. Roses Red 17 out.